Welcome to Bay Area Vista. I'm Janice Edwards, and thank you for joining us. Today we have guest co-host Lisa Bernard with us. She's going to talk with us about two great stories, one that will take us to new heights, another that will touch our hearts. Lisa, let's talk about what you're going to explore on today's show.
Thank you so much for having me. My first story is, as you say, about going to new heights, confronting my fears and going up and flying a small airplane, which
wow.
it was a big deal for me. I enjoyed it very much. And then the second story that I'm going to bring you is about a remarkable camp called the Painted Turtle Camp for kids with chronic illnesses, and it allows them for 1 week every year to be just like everybody else. They're not unusual at this amazing camp. So I wanted to bring both those stories to you.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us. That's Bay Area Vista coming up next. Join us.
Bay Area Vista, Vista. Bay Area, Bay Area Vista.
Welcome to Bay Area Vista. I'm Janice Edwards. It's always great to have colleagues join us, and today reporter Lisa Bernard is with us as guest co-host. Lisa and I work together at NBC Bay Area, and today she's bringing us two incredible stories, one about flying, another about the Painted Turtle Camp. So Lisa, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
What inspired these stories for you?
The first story really was about confronting my fears and taking on a new challenge. I'm afraid to fly in an airplane regularly, let alone fly a small one. So I did that and we captured it on film. And then the second story just touched my heart when I learned about this camp, the Painted Turtle Camp for chronically ill children who find a place to go every summer for 1 week to just be like everybody else in the room. And they're not unusual and they're not different, and the amazing volunteers that make it happen. So I wanted to share those stories with you.
And we're looking forward to it, and UCSF is linked to that, so that's why we are on UCSF grounds as we're looking forward to those stories. Before we go into those, I've shared before that I was co-host of a radio talk show when I was 16, and that was one of the things that inspired me to pursue journalism. What about you? What led you to this field?
You know, just a deep curiosity I have about everything. I love learning new things. I love exploring and digging to learn more about any topic, and then also sharing what I've learned with others. So I love getting people to share their stories with me, and then I like to pass that on to others, and that combined with the curiosity made it a perfect fit for me.
Well, it's great, and here we go, up, up, and away with Lisa Bernard. Enjoy.
Fear for me, freedom for Earl Hibbler, fascination for many. Airplanes evoke an expansive range of emotions. I'm very nervous, excited, nervous, uneasy.
We'll make it very wonderful for you.
On this day, I will try to transform my trepidation about flying into a moment of self-triumph.
And you assure me it's safe.
Oh yes, definitely.
This little baby is safe.
We're going to come back just like we're standing here right now.
Same condition.
Except you'll be smiling more.
I'll be smiling even bigger.
And you won't be having those fears anymore.
My fears will be gone.
They're going to be gone.
Is it normal to have some agitation and fears?
Oh sure, I'm scared every time I go up in an airplane.
No, don't tell me that. You scared right now?
No, I'm just picking on you.
An admitted control freak, I don't like the concept of leaving the ground in a metal capsule with wings. But in the spirit of embracing new challenges, I agree to give it a try. And the man who agrees to deal with my doubts, neuroses, and agitation is Earl Hibbler, one of the most respected pilots in the world, who happens to be based in the Bay Area.
It's called fear of the unknown. And once you understand what's going on, your fears kind of leave you.
But it's exhilarating, and I think confronting fears is exhilarating as well, to have that sensation that you haven't had before.
What is exhilarating for Earl is teaching and soaring through the sky.
The ultimate freedom is what it is for me.
Then he shows the rookie how to get into the airplane.
Take your right foot and put it right here, please.
My right foot.
Okay? And then left foot inside, and then sit down all the way to the back.
My butt on the back.
Bring your leg all in. Straight legs now.
Okay.
And just kind of like a shoehorn, you just slide in.
Oh, like a shoehorn.
Now you got to get your knee, there you go.
Like a throw. Is this seatbelt really necessary?
Yes.
Because if we're going down, is this really going to do much for me?
Yes. It's going to keep you in one piece.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, well, I can tell I'm not moving.
Okay, good.
I'm not moving out of here.
And if you get to feeling green,
Oh yeah, there's a barf bag?
Yes.
I don't usually get sick, which is good news for you. Earl has logged about 12,000 flight hours.
Okay, here comes fuel.
Feels good.
Okay, clear prop. Clear.
And we're up. I take the controls, and it feels good. This is the plane Earl uses in the annual Reno air races. He also let me fly his plane that is bigger and older, but equally thrilling. The scenery undoubtedly helped me relax and surrender to the experience.
I mean, really. Does it get any better than this?
No, it's spectacular. And you can't have this experience from any other vantage point.
Water and mountains, a remarkable opportunity to look down from above and to try something new.
You have the controls, by the way.
I do!
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And we're going to fly a little bit to the left over here.
Oh, so not
Just-
to the right.
Yeah, just the left.
But gently, right?
This is the old girl. You got to give it a little for her.
Oh, not so gentle? Wow, this is so awesome. So cool.
To be able to fly over the Golden Gate Bridge and hover over the San Francisco Bay.
When people approach you and say they want to learn to fly or they want to have you take them and teach them to fly, how do you describe to them about what is the thrill about it?
I'm watching you do it right now.
So you enjoy watching the people get their thrill from it?
I enjoy watching the learning curve
Yeah.
that goes on. And some people, it's just natural,
Yeah.
absolutely natural. And other people, they're just terrified because they don't understand what's going on with the airplane.
Earl kept saying the beauty of flying in small planes like this is the access. We can fly up the coast slowly.
300 feet.
And we're going about 90 miles an hour.
90?
Yeah,
That's it?
we're going really slow right now.
Oh my gosh.
And get a view of Alcatraz that would make the tourists and the former inmates jealous.
I'm turning it by accident. Is that okay?
No, you're turning it intentionally.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Wait, I need to go up. I'm heading right for the mountain.
Well, then fix it. Just pull back a little bit.
Walter, the fearless photographer in the back seat, has been kind enough to put his life in my hands for this story.
Sure you don't want to take it from me?
Why, you're doing fine.
I don't know. I'm a terrible driver of cars, you should know.
Honesty is the best policy.
We were getting hungry. No problem.
And we're going to Half Moon Bay.
Yeah, we're going that way to lunch.
Yes, we're going to go this way to lunch to Half Moon Bay, which is right here.
Sounds good to me.
And you can zip over the mountain to have lunch in Half Moon Bay, avoiding bumper-to-bumper traffic on the ground, just like that.
This is beautiful Half Moon
Oh,
Bay.
this is gorgeous. Wow.
Words of encouragement for the tentative student.
You're doing very well. You're at 1,200 feet, which is where we're supposed to be.
Oh, good.
And we're not in trouble here airspace-wise.
I'll keep us out of trouble.
We park the plane and grab a bite.
Welcome to Half Moon Bay.
Thank you.
Food and reflection on the pilot's passion.
The freedom of it, the view, the things that you see. You know, shooting stars at night, weird formations at night, the sunsets, the sunrises.
Back to the airport. The adventure continues.
In a tailwheel airplane, you should be stopped or never have your attention on anything else.
Like an iPad.
It is an iPad.
No, I was saying you shouldn't have your attention on anything else like an iPad.
So I promised you a very short takeoff.
Yes, you did. All right, let's do it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. You ready, Walter?
Ready.
That was about 300 feet.
We're up.
Remarkable to fly over the city. We are below the tip of the Transamerica Pyramid. Earl loves to bring beginner pilots here.
To them, it's usually a mind-blowing experience, kind of like what you're experiencing right now. You know, the hardest thing to control in an airplane is the pilot.
Why are you pointing to me? It is extremely relaxing.
Oh, yeah.
It
as Earl has said all along, it's the landing that is a pilot's greatest challenge.
But is that part of the thrill, that it is so, you have to be so precise, and that if something goes wrong, it's pretty terrible? Does that add at all to the rush or the excitement of it, the pressure, but also the payoff? Or no?
Training. It goes back to training.
I might have thought I'd be relieved to be back on the ground, but you know what? I was disappointed that we had to descend. What a rush that was.
Woo!
Good job.
Thank you. That was great.
No more fears.
No, I'm not afraid of this. That was great. That was really good.
Good news, Trooper.
Thank you. You're a great
Congratulations on your
teacher.
first flight.
And just like that, the Fraidy Cat became a fan of flying. There's nothing quite like it.
Wow, Lisa. Okay, I think you've almost made a believer out of me. Once I was in a traffic helicopter, we flew around the Golden Gate Bridge, and so I'm not quite as nervous a flyer as I used to be, but I don't know that I'd take the reins, but kudos to you for doing that.
Well, thank you. It was really a lot of fun and a total adrenaline rush, and it did make me feel more comfortable. I've been on a commercial airplane since then, and I was less afraid than I used to be.
Wow, that's very cool. Now, coming up, the Painted Turtle Camp is linked to Paul Newman. What's his relationship to this camp?
Well, as you know, Paul Newman has always been interested in community building, and he has his products with Newman's Own. Some of the proceeds of that go towards these camps, and he wanted to find a place for children to feel special, to feel blessed and alive. And he was very conscious of how lucky he has been in his life and the blessings he has had. And so he wanted to pass that along and give back. Many of the doctors and nurses here at UCSF volunteer at this camp, as well as many people who are not medical folks. And one of those, Seth Miller, is who I interviewed today about that camp and how it feels for him also to give back.
Wow, that's an incredible legacy that Paul Newman's left, and I'm looking forward to the story, so enjoy.
In 1988, Paul Newman founded the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp in Ashford, Connecticut for children with chronic illnesses. He wanted to create a place where they could just kick back, relax, and raise a little hell. The Hole in the Wall Gang Camp is now a global association that has served children from 30 states and 27 different countries.
What I was trying to do, I think, was to acknowledge luck. In the most cases, extraordinary luck in my lifetime. And the brutality of luck in the lives of some, especially young kids. If you acknowledge that, then you have to do something about those people who are less fortunate you are.
And joining me today is Seth Miller. He's a volunteer with the Painted Turtle Camp. These are camps for chronically ill children who get to spend a week every summer with other children just like themselves. Thank you so much, Seth. I know you volunteered with the camp for 9 years. Tell us all a little bit about the Painted Turtle Camp.
First, thank you, Lisa, for having me here to talk about camp. So camp is a multi-disease medical facility that is located about 40 miles north of Los Angeles in the high desert hills near Lancaster. It's in an area called Lake Hughes, California. And it serves about 8 weeks over the summer. Each week is dedicated to a specific disease. Diseases like hemophilia, kidney disease, liver disease, severe burns, skin disease, skeletal dysplasia.
And again, what's amazing, just to repeat, is that for that week, every camper, every child has the same disease or illness. So for the first time in their lives, they're not different than everyone around them. That's what's remarkable to me.
It's one of the most amazing parts of camp, and it allows a lot of the magic to happen. It allows the children to remove from their lives the things that make them different from everybody else, because here they're in a cabin where everybody has the same condition, the same challenges, the same side effects. So it allows them to focus on all the other aspects of being a child, and that brings a lot of joy and happiness and experience to the kids.
You can just see the smiles when they know that they're part of a larger group and they all share the same problems, have the same fears and anxieties, the same hopes.
All these people take medicine and like nobody asks you why you have to take medicine. because they take medicine too.
Because at home they're different than their siblings, they're different than their classmates. They are coddled by their caregivers and their parents. And this camp allows them to push themselves a little bit, to confront challenges that they may not even be given in their home lives. Tell me some of the challenges, some of the amazing things that they're encouraged to do at the camp.
So the children are encouraged to come out of their shell and explore who they really are in a number of different ways that test them in terms of fears that they might have or skills they never thought they have, like swimming in the deep end of a pool. And if you're a child, say, who has never been allowed to be in the pool before, or you don't have use of your legs, it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing for the parents or the medical providers to allow the kids to do this. So they don't get a chance to do this. But at camp, where a kid is very supported by a large number of staff, counselors and volunteers as counselors, and medical staff who are trained to work with the kids in this, they get to do something like pass the deep end test. And that brings to them a lot of excitement as they challenge themselves and conquer that fear. There's a high ropes course, which is about 40 or 50 feet off the ground. And it's a place where I'm even scared when I'm up there. Like, it's pretty high up. And you have to be in a harness and locked in, and camp is a lot of experts that have designed it so that it's perfect. But you get the kids up there and they're terrified. You can see them as they're climbing up and as they're going, over the rope lines between the different towers, and then taking the zip line down to the ground. And at times they even freeze up and they won't want to do it, but then they've got the support of all their co-campers on the ground who are cheering for them and all the staff and the counselors around them, and they do it, and you'll see them later at dinner that night so proud of themselves because of what they've accomplished.
And I understand too, these are campers who live for camp. So some of the parents have shared that for those 10 days of the year, it keeps their campers going. And they truly, their little spirits and their souls light up, like what you're saying, because of the warmth, the connection, the support they're getting.
Yeah, so there are stories of campers whose actually their medical conditions will improve as the months approach camp, and they get better and better. There's stories that I can think of in particular where children were in a challenged medical position and they didn't think they were going to be able to go to camp, and as they got closer to camp, the doctor was like, this is amazing, I can't exactly explain it, but your child is actually well enough to go to camp now.
Yeah, one woman was saying that her son's blood count went up at camp, and the doctors had said, don't even allow this child to go, he's in bad shape. And then at the camp, his condition improves.
Our son lived for these 10 days at camp. It was what kept him going the whole rest of the year. The doctors at Mass General did not want him to leave the hospital. They felt that he needed to be there. And I looked at my son and knew he needed to go to camp. Well, we came to camp. We were very nervous waiting for his blood counts the next day. Well, his blood counts soared. Much to everyone's shock, surprise, he did not need one transfusion the whole time he was at camp. When Stephen relapsed, and when he was dying, and when he knew he was dying, we were very much in contact, very close contact with a volunteer at camp, also a cancer survivor. Dom spoke to him on a daily basis and talked to him about the journey, a journey that all of us have to take. The journey from this world to the next is like stepping through a doorway, and it's not hard. You just have to find the doorway and just step through it. And Stephen said, but it's not a doorway, it's a hole in the wall, and I just have to go through the hole in the wall. And when Stephen died, one thing that gave me comfort is to picture him going through a hole in the wall and being here.
As we were discussing, there are volunteers from all over California. California's top doctors and nurses volunteer, as well as many people like yourself who have completely other lives, other jobs, and then you come to camp to give of yourself for a week. Tell me how it has changed you and inspired you in your life to be around these children each year.
So watching these children face these very difficult challenges, challenges that I haven't had to face in my life, and it makes me aware, one, how lucky I am, but two, to watch them face these challenges with the kind of resilience that is almost unimaginable is a lesson for me in how to face challenges in my life. These kids, they're constantly sick, they're constantly behind in school, feeling different than everybody else, and their lives are in danger as well. And the side effects of some of the medicine they have are also not very pleasant. And yet they still have the same wonder and joy, capacity for fun, laughter, and amazement that you would think, is some of the best characteristics of being human. And to see them exhibit this in the face of their challenges is inspiring, and it teaches me an important lesson in life.
And also, along those lines, to inspire you further, I understand part of the goal is to teach these children to be, I think you said, medically self-sufficient, so that they can administer their own insulin shots. Tell me about that, how you get these children to a point where they can care for themselves more than they do so at home.
So by teaching them how to administer their own medicine, it gives them a certain amount of freedom from their parents or their medical caregivers, and it gives them the ability to go out into the world and pursue whatever it is they want to pursue with their lives, and be able to have more freedom. That combined with teaching them to believe in themselves and come out of their shells and explore who they really are, whether it's on a high ropes course or getting up in stage night and singing or dancing or performing in front of a crowd of a couple hundred people, which would be scary to any of us. With the kind of support at camp, they learn to be more themselves, and combine that with the medical self-compliance, and suddenly camp gives them the major tools they need to reach beyond their challenges and find their greater selves.
Medical care is not just about medicine. We find that kids really respond to the positive values that they see at camp, the positive experiences, and we see that they brighten up, they get better, even by objective means like blood counts, other things.
Camp is not 5 days. Camp is not a week. Camp is a lifetime. It's something these kids hold in their lives forever, and frankly, it's something all of us hold in our lives forever too.
This has been an ongoing search to find a medical camp facility that would understand the needs of children with chronic and life-threatening illnesses. There is no other kind of camp program like this in California.
And also, we should say, as you have shared, that it's just a normal camp. There is organic farming and baseball and basketball. I understand Larry Brown, the NBA coach, is also a founding member. Tell me about that. The activities are just what you would see at a day camp or overnight camp.
Sure, so the kids get to do things that they would never get to do otherwise because they're constantly sick or they need so much medical care. And camp brings such a trained staff to bear that the kids are actually well supported in this. And so there's horseback riding and arts and crafts and nature and swimming and sports and rec and boating and fishing. And all the kinds of things that kids just love to do with their summers. And so it's a unique and a very special experience for them from that angle as well.
So also unique is the fact that no camper pays a dime to go there, and many of whom are from low-income families. Tell me about the challenges, financial challenges some of these families face with the medicine and the care, and also about how camp survives and what you need to keep camp surviving.
So this is right. Everything is paid for, from the transportation to the medical supplies to take care of the children. And some of those supplies can be extremely expensive, like a dose of factor, which helps your blood clot if you have hemophilia, can cost a couple $1,000s a day, and some of the kids need daily doses. Camp provides all of that care. And so a number of the diseases that camp serves affect populations that are in the lower income or middle income brackets, and these burdens fall pretty hard on these income levels. And so camp provides everything for free, and the way camp can do that is by relying on the generosity of donations. And it's corporate donations, it's donations in kind, whether it's t-shirts or sunscreen or sports equipment, and it's also small donations from individuals and families. So even a donation of $50 or $100 can make a huge difference in the life of a child. I think it costs somewhere around $1,500 to send a kid in average to camp for the week, everything paid for. So, I mean, even if you're giving $100, you're helping a kid get this amazing experience and, to learn to live a greater life.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all the information. And I want to end on the quote that Paul Newman gave when he founded the camp, which was, "It's for kids to kick back, relax, and raise a little hell," which I think is great. And we would like to tell you that if you'd like to donate to the Painted Turtle Camp, The website is on your screen, and you can give donations of any kind. They'd be much appreciated.
Lisa, that is an incredible camp, and thank you so much for bringing that story to us. Great job as guest co-host. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, if you'd like more information about anything that you saw on today's Bay Area Vista, details are on our screen at bayareavista.com. That's how you can find out about those things. And I want to thank you again, Lisa.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yes, and thank you for all that you do to make our Bay Area the great place that it is. I'm Janice Edwards. Please join us again next time. We look forward to seeing you then.
Bay Area Vista.